You hear the excitement in Diamond and Silk's voices. This is what we lack these last two elections. These last two elections, people either voted for Barack Obama or against Barack Obama. No one was excited about the person they were voting for unless it was Obama. There was no excitement for McCain other than the Palin factor, and there was no excitement for Mitt Romney. It is so wonderful now to actually be voting for someone and being excited. And I tell you what, when the caucuses results come in and when the primary results come in, people go to their different news outlets, Fox, CNN. I go to Diamond and Silk right away. I got to get more fired up, pumped up. I mean, Trump pumps me up, and you two fire me, and it's just great because we're in this together, and we're going to do this.
We're going to do this. That's right, baby.
We're going to do it.
We are all in this together, and that's what I so love.
Yes.
And listen, I'm just excited. I've never been this excited in all of my life. I am so excited, and I'm so happy that everybody is joining in, getting involved, and seeing what the process is all about. And don't let that mainstream media fool you. Just cut your TV off and ignore them because they do this all the time.
And just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat.
That's right, baby.
You can come off the Democrat plantation.
And come on the Trump train.
Yes.
You're right. It's finally not working because the candidate is not letting it work. He's doubling down. He's not giving in like we've seen in the past. We love Diamond and Silk here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thank you, ladies, so much. God bless you, and keep it up.
We will. Thank you for having us.
For more on Diamond and Silk, visit diamondandsilk.com. This past week, Sarah Palin reached out to Brussels after cowardly terrorists killed dozens there. Palin wrote on social media prayers and condolences for victims of the evil atrocities today at the hands of, yet again, Islamic terrorists in Belgium and Turkey. These grotesque animals are unfit for life in any civilization. Palin added an interesting take by a Christian pastor regarding Donald Trump's winning ways. And Palin provides a link to check it out. That link is available on the Mama Grizzly Radio Facebook page. This past week, Governor Palin reveled in her inclusion on a blacklist, and now you can join the governor on that very list. Palin on social media, join my blacklist. The Washington establishment is trying to silence the voice of we the people. This time they're blacklisting any independent-thinking American who supports the nomination of the GOP frontrunner Donald Trump. Joining me on their blacklist are people and publications like The Drudge Report, Dr. Ben Carson, Ann Coulter, Sean Hannity, Breitbart, Governor Jan Brewer, Governor Rick Scott, and other well-known conservatives. Want to make it easy on the professional political class trying to grow their list and just volunteer your name to our dangerous crew? Join me. Just click this link and add your name. Unifying with all these fellow patriots, it doesn't sound like such a bad group to be a part of after all. Sign the petition to join the blacklist to tell these unprincipled politicos that enough is enough, no more of their politics as usual. Sign up by clicking the link. And we have that link for you on the Mama Grizzly Radio Facebook page. Join Sarah Palin on the blacklist. And after Donald Trump stormed to a big win in Arizona this past week, Palin congratulated him and the voters. The governor saying, shout out to Arizona patriots who waited in line for hours even after the race was called for Donald J. Trump. And we echo those sentiments here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Way to go, Arizona. To see any of the governor's posts in their entirety, visit Sarah Palin's Facebook page, follow her on Twitter at Sarah Palin USA, and check out sarahpac.com.
Now, the Palin Update with Kevin Scholla presents Liberty and Legacy. Here's Tamara Colbert.
This is a time in our lives that we must understand actions have consequences. Yes, we've heard this phrase before. We've even heard our national leaders talk about never letting a good crisis go to waste. We have a nation and a world, for that matter, that seems to be spinning toward chaos rather than contemplation or calm. Right now, our most important and yet dwindling commodity is time. It is a time for choosing. That phrase, doesn't it seem fresh and brand new, that right articulation of what we are living through? And yet it was used almost 50 years ago by Ronald Reagan, a man who chose to rise up after waking up. For each of us, our lives are defined by a turning point, a time when everything clicks and we see it for what it really is. That's when the legacy vision is born. That is when we realize that our life has meaning, purpose, our fingerprints are divine, and the time becomes now to fulfill a God-given destiny. Here we are in one of Christians' holiest weeks of the entire year, and we have a terror attack in Belgium. The terrorists struck right at the heart of the European Union, the heart of Europe, to send a sign of chaos and their commitment to the cause of radical jihad. I gotta hand it to a suicide bomber. He or she is nothing if not committed to the cause of death and destruction and chaos. Boy, to give one's life in that way demonstrates a serious commitment. What's your commitment? What are you willing to do for your cause of freedom and liberty? Every Christian around the world celebrates the sacrifice and assurance of Jesus Christ. The disciples experienced chaos as Jesus Christ was led away to the cross. His death, it was agonizing, but through it, he and only our Savior could take that sting out of death and give us that glorious assurance for a secured future. Jesus Christ was committed to the cause of you and me, the cause of humanity. And God loved us so much, he gave his one and only Son to ransom us and give us freedom. This week I read an article that really hit the nail on the head about what we're living in. There were a couple of really good points. The first point this author made was that John Kasich needs to get out of the race. He has no chance of winning, but is really in the race to inject chaos into it. The article pointed out that George Soros is funding Kasich's campaign to the tune of $750,000. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on this point, and as I do, I'm going to discuss it on an upcoming show. But the second point was that chaos is happening in the world, and that nothing good comes out of chaos unless there is a cleansing. This pressure around the world, from massive illegal migration in Europe to North Korea's chaos to Russia's chaos and so on. History is repeating itself, and we are experiencing right now a time very similar to the 1930s. And one man named Alexander Dugin, who's a political philosopher, he has created a term called the fourth political theory. And that fourth political theory is where communism, Nazism or nationalism, environmentalism, and traditionalism meet to create chaos. I want to read a direct quote from this article because it really is brilliant. How do we either avoid the chaos or survive it? We have the spiritual and physical tools, but we have to pick them up and use them. God tells us how to act, how we should live and treat others. The Constitution launched these United States far ahead because of freedoms that were tied to godly responsibility. What it has is problems. It is not the Bible and the Constitution that has caused these problems. It is you and me and the leaders that we have elected who are out of the circle of responsibility that cause such chaos. We are a nation of rules, not men. This is me thinking this now, not the quote. It is high time we start acting like we have a calling and that America has a calling. It is time to put away childish rhetoric. It is time to bring about real solutions that will bring calm and not chaos. What solutions interest you the most? This is your time for choosing. We still have half the country left to make their decision in upcoming primaries between April and the beginning of June. What do we need to do to help bring calm out of the chaos? You can tweet me this week at Tamara Colbert, #MamaGrizzlyRadio. May you be blessed. May the Palin family be blessed. Todd, my family is praying for you and for your complete recovery. Out of the chaos, you will rise. You are a leader. We need you. We love you. We send the holiest of wishes for you and the biggest blessings for your immediate healing through our Lord. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. I'm Tamara Colbert for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tamara Colbert in Texas. Tune in for more Liberty and Legacy next week. And to learn about Convention of States, head to conventionofstates.com. Now our weekly commentary, Steel Resolve. Here's Sarah Steelman.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm absolutely befuddled by politics and what to talk about this week. I've been having a running argument with myself about presidential politics for months now. Despite having held 2 offices, senator and state treasurer, I'm an outsider, an anti-establishment kind of conservative. The 2 campaigns I lost were in primaries, one for governor, in which the entire establishment of Missouri was against me. I almost beat my opponent, a U.S. congressman. The establishment didn't like me because they couldn't control me. And the truth is, if I would have won the GOP primary, they never would have supported me. Maybe lip service and a few token contributions, but that's it. That is their modus operandi. My U.S. Senate primary was different because there was a self-funder who had never run for office, a U.S. congressman, the infamous Todd Akin, and myself. Suddenly, I became the so-called career politician and part of the establishment, even though there was absolutely no truth in that statement. The self-funder, like Trump, spent $10 million convincing the voters with negative ads that I was a horrible person. All of the Washington cartel, as Cruz calls it, the National Republican Senatorial Committee, the Club for Growth, and all the other groups who have had an interest in beating Claire McCaskill, refused to help me because they didn't really want me, because I wouldn't be their tool. So they sat back and they said, oh, any of us can beat Claire McCaskill because she's ripe for defeat. I told them that wasn't true, that Akin can't beat her because he will say something stupid. And so the story goes. A self-funder ran $10 million worth of negative ads against me. Neither he nor I won. Akin won, and of course went on to make the ridiculous comment about rape, and Claire McCaskill is still in the U.S. Senate. I see the same thing happening again, only this time the self-funder wins the nomination. The establishment types will never support Trump for president. They will vote for Hillary before they vote for Trump, even though they may pay lip service to him, because that's what they do. And guess what? I'm afraid we'll end up having Hillary Clinton as president. This is Sarah Steelman for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tune in again next week for another segment of Steel Resolve right here on the Palin Update. The Palin Update, including Liberty and Legacy and Steel Resolve, is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also, like Mama Grizzly Radio on Facebook and follow along on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, at Tamara Colbert, and at Sarah_Steelman. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Go to Breitbart.com and search Kevin Scholla. I want to thank Sarah Steelman, Tamara Colbert, and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to Diamond and Silk. And thank you for listening today. Special thanks to our sponsor, Narrowgate Security Agency. Visit narrowgate.com. The Palin Update is produced by Lena Anderson, the Andy L. Kramer, and Lori Ann Lewis. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.